Is that goofy as fuck? I don't know.
It's a Friday once again.
Hello, my fellow freaks, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all have had a great week. Today, well, not literally today, yesterday, from me recording this, was my birthday. So this is my birthday week, and as such, I want to cover something that I love. I have been so anxiously awaiting doing this review on the channel because this is one of my favorite movies of all time. Birthday week, I'm gonna review whatever the fuck I want, whether y'all like it or not. So if you couldn't tell from the dance in the title already, this week's review is on Willy's Wonderland from 2021, directed by Kevin Lewis. So this isn't something that's new for me to watch. I don't know how many times I've watched Willy's Wonderland. It's also not the first time that I've talked about it on this channel. In my third and final episode of The Full Soapbox, it was the movie of the week. If you thought I was passionate during that, wait until this video that it's probably like a whole 30 to 40 minutes dedicated to me just circle jerking this movie. Now, for some reason, I've noticed this movie has a lot of haters, like a lot of haters. So forgive me if I immediately go into the defensive as I'm talking about how much I love this film, but a lot of people don't like it. And I don't get it. I don't understand how anyone could hate this movie. It is so fun. It is campy. It's still creepy. Nic Cage is just a complete badass in it. Hello? And I think I need to get this off my chest right in the introduction. Maybe like a year or so ago, I watched Meat Canyon's Papa Meat, whichever, I don't know. I call him Meat Canyon. I watched his review on Willy's Wonderland and it hurt me. It hurt me so deeply. I mean, like, not that deep. It's not that serious. I'm a huge fan of Papa Meat. I watch all of the videos. I watch Creepcast. I run a horror movie channel on YouTube. Obviously, I watch Isaiah and Hunter. But I remember watching his review of it, me having already seen it dozens of times, and seeing his review, and I'm just like, ooh, okay, I'm really excited. And then, Hunter, you just shit on it. Meat Canyon just shits on it the whole time. I was hurt, I felt betrayed, and above all else, every single reason that he listed why he hates this movie is also the exact same reason why I love it. So I knew one day I need to put my emotions about this movie out on the internet for a bunch of strangers and any strange freaks that feel the same way as I do, that this is like a cinematic masterpiece.
Am I the only one who understands the complexities of this ambitious cinematic masterpiece? This movie isn't stupid! You're stupid!
Oh, Billy, why you gotta be like that?
So without further ado, let's get into this circle jerk. But first, if you are new here, hi, my name is STARGUTZZZ. Any crashing, loud noises, weird noises that you might hear going on in the background are my cats. Also, for the most part, my reviews tend to be just discussing these elements or parts of a film that make it good or bad, rather than giving you like a play-by-play of everything that happens in it. Now, because this is a movie that I love and it's like a special kind of review, it's possible that I may get into some spoiler It's possible I may bring up quite a few spoilers and also not warn you guys about those spoilers because I'm gonna be really excited. This is going to be a very passionate movie review. If you'd like to watch Willy's Wonderland before the rest of this review, I actually just found out it's on Tubi, dude. One of my favorite movies ever is on Tubi. So that means the link will be in the description. Again, not sponsored by Tubi. I have it on my manifestation board. It's gonna happen. But other places that you can watch it is Hulu and Amazon Prime if you have those subscriptions. I usually watch it on Hulu. I just found out it was on Tubi. I think on Pluto TV as well. Link in the description for this movie to make it that much easier for you to watch this thing. Without further ado, let's get into me screaming about how fucking good Willy's Wonderland is. While traveling down a country road, a silent badass Nic Cage pops his tires and is picked up by a repairman. Nic lacks a method of pay for the repair and agrees to spend the night cleaning an old abandoned animatronic entertainment restaurant called Willy's Wonderland. Little does Cage know, however, that he's trapped in a place with satanic and sadistic history and possessed animatronics that are bloodthirsty. Meanwhile, some group of teens attempt to take care of the place themselves by having it burned down, but Nick is way too badass for that and takes matters into his own hands, giving the animatronics a taste of their own medicine. You guys, this movie's so badass. This is one of the top, like, let's say top 5 most badass movies I've ever seen. People are also gonna hate me for the fact, for what I'm about to say, that the story, the narrative, is actually solid and actually really good. Is a part of it goofy because there's like 8 animatronics out to kill a bunch of people? Yeah, okay, sure. But the story, the actual narrative, is so good. We're gonna be getting into it some, like, in more detail. But I mean, when you break down the story itself, it's a good narrative. Like, there's not really any holes anywhere to pick at. There's nothing where I'm just like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that's not believable in this world. Oh, why are they doing this? Everything makes sense. It's really well written. I'm sorry to tell you that, but it is a very well written story. Now, the only thing I don't really care about with the story are the teens. For the most part, I don't care if the teens are there or not. I get their purpose within the narrative, but I do think they serve another purpose, which is just being victims. Because listen, if the movie was just Nic Cage versus these animatronics, I don't think we would ever see the animatronics like in action killing people. So that's why the teens have to be there. Their bodies, basically. Their bodies, so we can get the satisfaction of animatronics killing people, but then we also get Nic Cage being a badass. Now, like I said, we're getting into the story aspect a little bit, and it's going to, I think it might ruffle some feathers. You're not doing something right unless you're ruffling some feathers. So feathers, here you are to be ruffled. If you are super into Five Nights at Freddy's, like if you were a super fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, you're not gonna like this review. You're probably gonna be pretty cross about some of the things that I have to say, particularly about the story or the lore or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, when Willy's Wonderland came out, all people could think about was Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Because it's like essentially the same gimmick. And I know a lot of people hate, I don't understand why you guys hate this movie. Can I just say, I don't understand why you guys hate this movie, because Willy's Wonderland satisfies exactly what I thought Five Nights at Freddy's was going to be. Now, I'm not talking just about the movie, obviously. The movie only came out like, what, a year or 2 ago? I'm talking about just the lore in general. Now, when Five Nights at Freddy's first came out, I was in high school, dude. And before the lore was like created around it, what I wanted from Five Nights at Freddy's, no, what I expected of Five Nights at Freddy's was basically everything that Willy's Wonderland is, which is like crazy, violent, killer animatronics, scary environment, like violence. I wanted violence. And I can already hear the little tippy taps, the little tippy of every Five Nights at Freddy's fan in my comment section right now, talking about how I guess demented the lore is, or whatever, right? Willy's Wonderland is everything that I was expecting the Five Nights at Freddy's lore to turn into as the games went on, and I guess as the books were written. Now, after the first 2 games, I did not stay very heavily into the fandom, so I didn't start getting into like the lore videos until right before the movie came out, because on the blog I was originally going to do a movie review of Five Nights at Freddy's, and to prepare, obviously, I need to be in on the lore. So I watched the lore videos, and it was all right and dandy. Oh my god, I've been recording for 20 minutes and I don't have background music. I'm sorry if you were not enjoying the absolute silence that was in this video so far. Let me know, do you guys even like the background music, or is it like distracting? I can't figure it out on my own. I need like outsider opinion for that. Anyway. So anyway, when I was catching up on FNAF lore so I could understand the movie more, I was like, fine with it, right? I'm like, it's not the most spectacular. It's kind of whatever. And there are moments where I kind of felt confused also, but I was just like, whatever, you know? It's fine. And then, can I just say something? The child soul stuff didn't bother me until I saw how it was played out on the big screen. And then once I saw it that way, I'm just like, not crazy about it. I'm just not crazy about it. Is it? Yeah, whoa, it's so sad that fictional children died. That their spirits possess these animatronics because of one crazy guy. Right? Like, on paper, that's good. The movie made me fall asleep. That's why I never did a review on it. After the animatronics decided to be friends with the main characters instead of being like scary, violent, attacking monsters. Which, yeah, I get it, okay? They're kids. But this is the exact problem. I don't want friendship. I don't want friendship. I want blood and violence. So yeah, I fucking fell asleep after the animatronics decided that we're all friends. Let's make a pillow fort and friendship bracelets and eat pizza and popcorn and drink soda. Let's have a little sleepover in the restaurant. Yeah, bitch, I fucking fell asleep after that. That's bullshit. It's not what I had hoped from FNAF, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, how FNAF ended up being is nothing what I had ever expected or wanted it to be. And that's fine. I'm just one person. Several people love the franchise, right? I'm not here exactly to say that it's bad. It's just not for me. And that is fine. And you know why that's fine? Because thank fucking God Willy's Wonderland exists. And it provides exactly what the little trashy freaks like me wanted from FNAF. Willy's Wonderland is everything that I wish FNAF had turned into. I think especially my disappointment is because when I was growing up, I had a massive phobia of animatronics. No, I did not get the phobia because FNAF exists. Like I said, I was in high school when it came out. I'm old. I mean, like, my first memory of having to confront an animatronic was one of those creepy ass, like, singing Christmas trees in Cracker Barrel that had the eyes and the mouth. Like,
Merry Christmas!
Terrified me. Absolutely terrified me. Santas, animatronic Santas that they love to put in the front of stores, terrified. And listen, your girl still struggles going into Spirit Halloween. I still have a touch of the phobia, okay? All of this to say that the reason why I was obsessed with the first two FNAF games is because it played so heavily into the horror, and it played into horror it was like specifically targeted to me. I was terrified of those games, dude. And so the fact that the lore has evolved into these terrifying horror monsters just being, they're just kids, So thank you, Willy's Wonderland, for actually making these things not only like bloodthirsty and violent, but also creepy. There are creepy moments in this, and I'll get into that a little bit. But I just appreciate the fact that Willy's Wonderland stuck to the theme of this is horror, so yeah, the animatronics are gonna be killing people. Again, we're not friends. We're not doing the friendship shit. Gore and violence. They are satanic, hungry, violent forces of nature. Yes, of course I would take the fucked up adults who all killed themselves in a satanic ritual to possess these things. Of course I would take that over, they're kids, Which brings me to my next point that I think, again, I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. The backstory is way better than FNAF, in my opinion. But the backstory is even so much better than FNAF's. I'm sorry, it is. The backstory of the restaurant, how the animatronics become possessed. Again, satanic suicide ritual amongst fucked up adults who are doing fucked up shit at the restaurant anyway. Like, yes, of course make those people immortal. What are we gonna do by making kids immortal? Oh, we're gonna build a pillow for it. Not only just the backstory of them being possessed, but also like the backstory of the town, okay? Spoiler alert, here's some of the backstory that happens in Willy's Wonderland, which is awesome. After the animatronics are possessed by these fucked up adults, they start wreaking havoc on the town. And what does the town decide to do? They're like, yo, let's cut a deal. Stop killing our people and we will find people to bring into you and feed you. Are you kidding me? How is that not better than everything FNAF has done? I'm sorry, how is that not better than everything FNAF has done? If liking Willy's Wonderland, if liking just everything about Willy's Wonderland over Five Nights at Freddy's makes me trashy, if that makes me someone who has like trashy tastes, then so fucking be it. I will wear it as a badge of honor. But on top of all the good storytelling aspects and how it's just better than Five Nights at Freddy's in every single way, Willy's Wonderland also provides a really perfect balance of 3 genres: action, horror, and comedy.
Wanna fuck, fatty?
And not one of these elements really like is overbearing on the others or overpowers the others, I think is the word I'm trying to look for. Now, arguably, I could see the argument that maybe the action overpowers the other two, but personally, I think it's all like a really good balance. Maybe the action, but other than that, I don't know. I don't see any one thing really overpowering the rest. And I'm going to use an example to get this point across, because there's action, there's horror, but there's comedy. And I want to touch on the comedy aspect. The comedy is done so well. It's done the way comedy should be done in a horror movie. It's subtle, it's well timed, there's not a huge focus on it when it happens. Like, it doesn't take over a scene, and I like all the comedy. I love the comedy in this movie. Now, by comparison, a few weeks ago we looked at The Monkey, and if you remember, I talked about the comedy in The Monkey and how there are parts where it tries so hard. It tries really hard, and it's to the point where it overpowers any other emotion that you should be able to take away from the scene, because it's just so focused on being a comedy, right? Not all of the jokes land. And like I said, the comedy ruins some really like meaningful scenes in The Monkey. So comedy can ruin a movie so bad. But the comedy in Willy's Wonderland, it's subtle, it's little, and it's more focused on like, is it the right time? Rather than just being like punching you in the face. Hey, laugh, 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 laugh. No, it doesn't do that. It looks for the best possible time, and it's little things. It's less is more. Less is more. One of my favorite examples of what I mean about how subtle and well-timed the comedy in Willy's Wonderland is when he's about to fight the chameleon. Now, there are like several examples I could take out of this film, but this is definitely one of my favorites, and I think also one of the best. As Nic Cage is about to join Liv in fighting the chameleon animatronic, his timer goes off and it is time for a break. So, what does he do? Does he ignore his break time and help Liv fight the chameleon? No. He looks at them, I think he hands Liv a weapon, and then he walks off and goes to play pinball. Leaving her to defend herself against the chameleon. I love this scene so much. Not only just like the comedy of, oh, I'm gonna help you fight this, but actually my boss told me how important breaks are, so kind of have to deal with it yourself. But also how little how little of a shit Nic Cage gives about these teenagers, and like, I'm gonna be getting into that in the next section, but it's so funny how little he cares about the teenagers, how little he cares about the backstory and what's actually going on.
Have you been listening to a word I've been saying?
He's like, I'm just gonna get my car fixed, and I'm gonna kick the ass of anything that's in my way. And yes, it does have a lot of action, but there's still a lot of horror going on. Like, it has some genuinely creepy moments, like when in the background you can slowly see the animatronics moving and then suddenly they're all staring at Nick.
6 little chickens at the end of the line. 6 little chickens at the end of the line. One happy weasel says it's dinner time.
One of my favorite moments is when the chameleon is doing some manipulation.
I'm not the same as the others. They're so mean to me. They call me ugly and they make fun of my colorful skin. I'm trapped in this body.
The way that she is able to manipulate this guy so effectively, and like, can I just be for real? How many of you would have believed her? How many? Because I probably would have. I would have gotten killed. That manipulation tactic that she uses is so clever and so creepy, dude. I don't know. There's definitely still some horror taking place in this, despite it being actiony, despite it having some comedy. It does still have some creepy moments to it, which I appreciate. Of course I appreciate that. It's a horror movie, dude. It's just, oh man, all three of these elements I feel are so perfectly balanced in this movie. Again, you could probably argue that maybe the action is overpowering, but I personally do not think so. I think everything is very well balanced within each other, and it just creates
this ambitious cinematic masterpiece?
the story and the writing was already good, and now you have like 3 genres being perfectly combined together into a cinematic masterpiece. And now, my dear viewer, my dear freak, we must talk about the part of this that makes me the most angry. There is one aspect of this film that makes me the most angry, and it doesn't have anything to do with the film, by the way. It has to do with audience reception of the film. I'm about to get passionate. I need to express the fact that I will never in a million years understand the gripe that people have with this movie and the fact that Nicolas Cage doesn't have any lines. I will never ever understand the perspective that, oh, I'm upset or annoyed or angry that Nic Cage doesn't speak in this movie. That is the literal point of his character. Him not talking is like the point. It's the point of his character. You're getting upset and annoyed over something that was so intentionally done. And it makes the character so good. I'm like about to break my whole setup again, okay? We're watching a movie where Nic Cage is a badass protagonist. He doesn't need to speak, first of all. Nic Cage doesn't need to speak. He does plenty in conveying his character not only without saying a single fucking word, but not even having a character name. He is a badass, okay? He is a badass who uses duct tape as band-aids and curb stomped a gorilla into a urinal. And you're concerned over the fact that he's not talking? He doesn't need to talk. I'm sorry, I'm standing here trying to, in the moment, wrap my head around why someone would be upset over the fact that his character doesn't speak, when that literally makes the character. It low-key makes the movie. And it's the entire point. It's the point. That's the point, that he doesn't speak. His character is a silent ass kicker, mysterious out-of-towner wearing sunglasses and a leather jacket and driving a sports car, and you're concerned with the fact that he doesn't talk. He's mysterious. He kicks ass. And so many people put weight on this film being bad because he doesn't talk. Oh my god, dude. I actually lose my mind every time I think about it. This movie would lose so much charm, so much purpose, and so much of what just makes it good if they gave Nic Cage's character speaking lines. Do you know how mediocre the movie would be if Nic Cage talked? Now, that's nothing against Nic Cage. I love Nic Cage. In fact, Nic Cage being the silent badass in this movie is the literal cherry on top. But if he spoke in this movie, it's like, I don't know. To me, it just feels like it would ruin so much of what's happening in it. It would ruin the tone. It would ruin the mood. It would ruin the campiness. Him not speaking adds to the camp. Hello. Mysterious out-of-towner who can't be stopped and is an ass kicker. And you want to tell me that that's not camp? Okay. And again, he's so able to convey so much about the character, who the character is, how he acts, what his personality is like, without saying a word. And again, Willy's Wonderland is already a campy concept. Him being a silent, badass protagonist just makes it more campy. And it reminds me of, like the Grindhouse kind of stuff, like Planet Terror. It's action-y camp. How can you be mad? Genuinely, how can you be mad that he doesn't have a tie when it's the actual, literal purpose of his character? And people will call it a bad movie just because he doesn't speak. Oh my god, are you 5 years old? Let me guess, you don't like to watch black and white movies either, do you? Man, I swear to God, if this was a Jason movie, like a Friday the 13th movie, and it was a protagonist who was silent and badass, I'm sorry, people would be losing their fucking minds over that. They would eat it up. But for some reason, because it's Nic Cage and killer animatronics, oh, that's so cringe. It makes it bad and cringe. Well, guess what? Have you ever considered that you're cringe?
This movie isn't stupid! You're stupid!
It just, I don't know. It just blows me away. It blows me away how much just that little, something that literally is a cherry on top of the movie is what makes it a terrible movie for so many people. It baffles me. It genuinely fucking baffles me. Listen, you guys, there's so much. There's so much that I could say about this movie. I feel like I could be here for hours talking about all the little things in this film. I'm sorry, I'm like looking at my notes, making sure I didn't miss anything. There's so many just little things I feel like I could talk about this movie too. Like, oh god, it's badass, it's creepy. It's like one of my favorite Nic Cage roles. Like, Willy's Wonderland it has everything. It has everything that I want in a movie. It's the better version of Five Nights at Freddy's. It is very perfectly balanced with all of the genres that it's including within the narrative. The narrative itself is so well written, with really cool and compelling backstories, believable backstories too. Believable within the realm of suspension of disbelief, obviously. And Nic Cage is an absolute badass. It is a badass movie. I don't care what you say. Willy's Wonderland is one of the top most badass films I've ever seen. I mean, if you can tell how much I love it. This is my love letter to it. I will literally throw hands. I will throw hands over Willy's Wonderland. That's how much I love it and want to defend it as a good movie. I am talking to you, Meat Canyon. Willy's Wonderland is a good ass film. You don't get it. You don't get it. Again, just if you could, I think you could even watch his video on Willy's Wonderland, and every single point that he gives for it being bad is the exact same reason why I find it to be good. I guess it's just like a difference of perspective, but I will not take the Nic Cage slander in this movie and the fact that he doesn't speak. Are you kidding me? I think by this point it is obvious how I feel about Willy's Wonderland. And so when I give you the tier, it should be no surprise. First of all, I think in that Fool's Soapbox episode, I put my tier opinion anyway, but you're about to get it again and I want you to stay the fuck mad about it. Willy's Wonderland? Willy's motherfucking Wonderland is S tier, baby! It's a fucking S tier, bitch! S tier! Official first S tier of the channel goes to Willy's Wonderland. Stay mad. I hope that I have just pissed off everyone over me putting that in S tier, and I will not change my mind. This is an S tier movie. I'm not ashamed. I'm not embarrassed. I will, like I said, I will go knuckles over this film. I will die on the hill. I will defend this movie until the day I fucking die. You're gonna watch a movie where Nic Cage doesn't speak and is a badass and he curb stomps a gorilla into a urinal. It's S tier. I really don't know what more I could possibly say about this movie. There were quite a few, like maybe little things I could go on to include, but I think I have the main points of my feelings across very well. And we are done with another movie review. I know this one was maybe a little bit of a chaotic one, a little bit of a loud one. I'm sorry for my headphone users. But listen, it's a movie that I don't think gets enough recognition for genuinely being good. It's a genuinely good movie, and I will go into a boxing ring over it. Thank you. Thank you for bearing with me through this passionate and loud and somewhat probably violent movie review. Again, it was my birthday week, so I want to talk about a movie that I feel very strongly about, and I've always wanted to make a video on Willy's Wonderland and get my feelings out there and basically just piss off a lot of people. If you're like me and you love this movie, I hope that you loved this video. And if you did like this video, please make sure to stab that like button. It is a free and easy way to help support my channel, and I appreciate it a whole lot. If you loved this video so much that you want to hear me talk about more B movies and disturbing cinema, and then also just like any etc stuff like Willy's Wonderland, then please consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell notification or icon so that you can be notified every time that I make a new upload, which is usually, there's a new review every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys so much for anyone who considers doing this. It's very much appreciated. Sometimes you can catch me live here. It was my goal for this year, and I've only streamed a handful of times due to my schedule. The days that I stream will vary depending on my schedule. Obviously, my schedule's been so hectic, I haven't gotten to stream lately, but it's something that I would really love to do. So if you do ever want to catch me in a stream, days vary. I will usually try to go live around 6 or 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also here, somewhere on the screen, are some more socials that you can find me at if you feel so inclined to do that. Again, thank you guys so much for being here, for making it all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. We don't have a whole lot of time, and the fact that you used your time to sit here and watch me literally scream about Willy's Wonderland is, man, just thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really do. It means the world to me. If I do not catch you guys in a live stream, I will see you in next week's video. And until then, have a good night and stay safe out there.
Catching gun.